Everybody's heard the term practice makes perfect, and there's some purists out there that don't like that term. I don't care either way, but it is kind of a misnomer, and the purists are like, well, if you practice the wrong way, you'll never get perfect. And then there's the other side of the coin that says, the people who don't like the term practice makes perfect, they say the better term would be perfect practice makes perfect. And I don't necessarily agree with that either, because when you're first doing it, chances are you're not going to be perfect at doing it. You have to progressively get to the perfect stage, and perfect is, what is perfect? Perfect to one person might not be perfect to another person. Just watch the Olympics, right? These people dedicate their lives to doing it, and they're still not perfect. So perfect is kind of a goal, a target, and I don't know if you ever get there, but good enough or perfect enough or effective enough to me is, yeah, you always want to strive for perfect, but anyway, there is some truth to that, but you have to work up to it, and it's true because most people, give an example, who don't know how to punch. Well, who doesn't know how to punch, right? Well, there is I would say a correct way to punch, but an effective way to punch. First, let's talk about making a proper fist. A lot of people don't realize that there's the right way to make a fist. So you lay your palm out, and up or down, and you want to curl your fingers down, right? Now tuck that thumb underneath. So this is what a proper fist looks like. You don't ever want to do this, because when you hit something, what's going to happen is going to break that thumb. And the reason, and you don't want to put your thumb to the side here, because if you hit something and you just kind of glance, take a glancing blow, you're going to hyperextend that thumb or break it. So when it's tucked down like this in front of your other two fingers, there's less chance of it catching, and if you hit something, it's not going to snap that joint right there. The other thing is you want to punch with the front two knuckles like this. You don't want to punch this way, and you don't want to punch too far this way. You want to keep your wrist straight. You don't want to bend it down like this or bend it up like that, because if you hit it, show you an upper view, if you hit it like this, you're going to snap your wrist backward. If you hit it down like this, you're going to snap your wrist inwards. But if you hit straight on, you're going to transfer that energy straight down your arm, and it's not going to it's not going to hurt. Now, when you get ready to do a break, it's important to condition your hand or your feet. So you want to use a pad like this or a punching bag before you actually go to a solid piece of wood. And I would recommend just practice with some light punches and then work your way up. And what that does, it actually over time, probably a month or so, it's going to get you used to punching, but I say over years it can actually increase the bone density of your hands, and that will help you break harder and harder things. So if you want to break something with a chop, you can practice like that, or with a fist. what they call the palm heel. And it's not just that part of your hand that's contacting that you're conditioning, you're also conditioning the rest of the bones in your body to take that shock. So it's really important to train properly as you go through, because if you don't train properly, you might as well not train at all, because you're going to risk injury. So most beginners, right, they'll punch kind of like that, you know, especially from here. They just kind of straighten their arm. They think punching is kind of straightening their arm. And then when they learn a little bit more, then they can punch straight, but you're not using your shoulder. So that, you still should practice that, but you should know what the more or the better effective way of doing something. And the more effective way of a punch is you want to lead with your shoulder. What that means is you want to kind of twist your body and use the momentum of your body as you're punching to get a more effective punch. So, but at first, like I said, the beginner has to go through certain stages. So first is learning to punch straight. Second is learning to use your body and, you know, rotate your body. And then third is recover. So there's a lot to learning a skill or a physical skill than just practicing one way. You have to progressively move towards a more effective way. So perfect is not, I get that we like to boil terms down so we can remind ourselves the way to do things, but the term perfect, practice makes perfect, I agree, is probably too simplified. So let's demonstrate a good way to do a punch. So again, you want to punch straight and you want to use your shoulder. Now notice my highly developed abs. When I'm squaring up, I want to turn my body. So what that does, you know, I can turn my shoulder too, but I can turn my body as I'm punching to get more effect. So here, I'll demonstrate. I'm just going to straighten my arm without using my shoulder. So I'm kind of limiting my reach. But when I throw my shoulder into it and maybe lean into the punch, I get a lot more power and displacement to the opponent. So again, an ineffective punch. You can see the bag barely move or doesn't move back. Now I'm going to throw my shoulder into the punch. Much more effective, much more displacement. So when you practice, you want to strive towards the most effective way. Otherwise, you're kind of wasting your time.